unless it's been authorized in advance.
Are you really that afraid of this virus?
This has got nothing to do with it. This is CF policy.
Yeah, but I mean, the policy for, I think you look young and healthy. I don't think you're in any danger.
You can take this outside.
Speaking of the video, I was shocked, albeit not surprised, to read many comments in which other OLG customers stated that they had not been paid out or that it took months of fighting with the OLG until checks were issued. Can you please tell me the total amount of money that the OLG has denied winners for whatever reason? By the way, folks, on that particular question, I've asked it before. If you can imagine, the OLG says it doesn't keep track of that information. Can you imagine that? They keep track of every penny going in and out of this corporation. We're going to follow that up with a Freedom of Information request. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm back at the Toronto headquarters of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. You might recall last week we ran a video. It was about how I had won a Pick 4 prize, which was over $1,000. That meant it had to go to investigations. And as par for the course, the investigations unit declined my prize claim. They were uncertain I was the right purchaser of the ticket, even though I filled in all the boxes and checked all the lines and presented government ID, but it was no dice. And I suspect it's because they don't like my coverage of the OLG. It is one of the most scandal-plagued crown corporations in the history of crown corporations. And this is a petty, vindictive way, I guess, of delaying my prize claims. Typically, what I have to do is file a small claims court submission. And lo and behold, that's when the OLG miraculously discovers that my prize claim is kosher. Isn't that amazing? And you know what I found amazing, too, about the video? I read the comments, and there were several comments from our viewers saying that they've undergone the same sort of shenanigans in terms of claiming a valid prize claim. So here's a lottery corporation that has a history of holding its nose and looking the other way when it comes to insider wins, but it puts people, honest winners, through the scrutiny of an investigation that declines their prize claim based on what? It's absolutely bizarre. Well, this is a victory lap, folks, because the day after the video aired, I didn't even get a chance to go to small claims court this time. The day after the video aired, I got a Purolator Express. There you go. And guess what was in it? Yeah, there was a check. The glare of bad publicity this time worked in me getting what was rightfully mine. But I gotta tell you, I'm curious. If it wasn't the glare of publicity, then what moved the dial? Because their investigator, Lee Pinio, and there was another investigator, Dominic, he didn't give his last name, they seemed to be certain I was not the rightful purchaser of the ticket. So I sent off a email to Mr. Pinio and Mr. Tony Butanti. He's the spokesman for the OLG. He doesn't seem to return my emails anymore. I don't know why. That is his job. In any event, this is what I said. I just took delivery of my check. Thank you. Yet, while I'm grateful that I'm finally receiving what is rightfully mine, I am nevertheless curious as to what made you change your mind so that the payout would be authorized. After all, in our discussion via telephone last Wednesday, you indicated that the information that I had supplied was lacking and that there were doubts that I was indeed the purchaser of the ticket, even though I filled in every line and checked every box on the OLG prize claim form. As well as requested, I provided the OLG with photocopies of government-issued photo ID. Your colleague Dominic had also said my detailed information was insufficient. So, did your decision to do the right thing come about due to my suggestion that you check the retailer's surveillance footage, which would clearly show that I was in fact the purchaser of the ticket? Or was your change of heart based on my assertion that I would again commence a small claims lawsuit? As you know, I've gone this route in previous dealings with the OLG in order to receive my rightful winnings. Or was your decision to pay out based on the Rebel News report that chronicled my plight? At last check, that video had received more than 56,000 views on our YouTube channel, garnering 6,200 thumbs up and 44 thumbs down. Speaking of the video, I was shocked, albeit not surprised, to read many comments in which other OLG customers stated that they had not been paid out or that it took months of fighting with the OLG until checks were issued. Why does your corporation continue to act in such an abusive fashion? As well, can you please tell me the total amount of money that the OLG has denied winners for whatever reason? By the way, folks, on that particular question, I've asked it before. If you can imagine, the OLG says it doesn't keep track of that information. Can you imagine that? They keep track of every penny going in and out of this corporation. We're going to follow that up with a Freedom of Information request. Surely that figure exists, and it should be public information. This is a corporation, after all, owned by the people of Ontario. And we have come back here to try to get their side of the story since they're not responding to emails. You can see all the signs. It basically says they are closed because of COVID. Yeah, the lights are on, but nobody's home. Closed because of COVID? Let's have a little truth in advertising here. I think they're closed for another reason, and I've gone to the trouble on my own expense to make a sign for them. Like I said, truth in advertising.
How can I help you?
Sir, I'm just here. I'm with media, just filming a shot.
There's no filming on this property unless it's been authorized in advance.
Sorry, what was that?
There's no filming on the property unless it's been authorized in advance.
Okay, I believe this was prearranged.
With who?
I'm uncertain personally. I'm with Rebel News. I'm sorry?
There'll be no filming until that's proven.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I have my instructions here. I'm waiting. That I've already have people inside. They're on their way out.
You must understand that this is private property.
Okay.
There's no filming.
Understood.
Okay.
Oh, hi, gentlemen. I am back again. You know what? I see the sign saying that it's closed for COVID. I got a beautiful sign here, sir. Closed for scandal. Where can I hang this sign?
Probably a Rebel News, no comment.
Probably at Rebel News, but we're not scandalous. The OLG is scandalous, sir.
Okay, that's, we've got nothing to say, so you're best on your way.
Okay, then. By the way, my check did come by Purelator from the OLG, and I'm just trying to find out what changed from last Wednesday to this Wednesday, because they had originally said all of my information was not sufficient enough. They didn't believe that I was the winner. So I don't know if you play the lottery or not, but...
No, but I'm going to have to ask you both to leave because you're not wearing masks, so you're not in compliance.
Are you really that afraid of this virus?
This has got nothing to do with it. Okay. This is CF policy.
Yeah, but I mean, the policy for... I think you look young and healthy. I don't think you're in any danger.
You can take this outside.
Okay. Oh, geez, that sounds ominous. So what I'm trying to find out, sir, is what changed, because they said my information was not sufficient enough, and then suddenly it was sufficient enough to award me the prize. Was it the fact that we aired a video based on this latest slice of corruption?
I have to ask OLG.
You know what? I have asked them several times. They're not returning my emails, and there's nobody in the office, sir.
No comment.
Okay, then. Well, I'm not trying to give you a tough time. I just think you seem like a decent guy. If you bought a lottery ticket and your numbers came up, wouldn't you expect to be paid out on it?
No comment.
No comment on that? So there's some nuance here. Maybe you shouldn't be paid out on a prize that you've rightfully won?
No comment.
Okay. All right, then. Well, the security guard is a little tongue-tied again. I just asked him a basic question, whether he'd expect to be paid out on a winning lottery ticket. I would hope he'd be paid out, but as we found, those with contrarian opinions and others, they don't get paid out, because I think what we have discovered is that the OLG is a government unto itself, and a corrupt government at that. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, you've probably heard the news by now. YouTube is undoubtedly coming to kill us. They have completely demonetized us. The other day, they gave us a strike for no good reason whatsoever. So please, we want you to stay in touch with Rebel News. Go to rebelnews.com. That's rebelnews.com. We need some of your personal information, such as your email or cell phone number. Trust me, we don't share that with anyone, but we want to remain relevant to you, and we can't depend on YouTube any longer.